Welcome. Thank you for joining us at My Blissful Spot. My name is Nancy Medina. I call it My Blissful Spot because this is the place that I enjoy relaxing. And I'm going to introduce you to my melt collection today. I have my glasses on because part of it I wanted to read. Now remember, on one of my previous videos I had said I had a speech impediment, which I have worked on over the years in theater and in speech therapy, but I still can't pronounce names, so I'm so sorry, Laura and Dana. I'm going to try to pronounce your last names and it might not be pleasant. But either way, it started when Laura and Dana met each other working at cosmetics counter at this one department store. Both of them were beautiful, both of them had excellent taste in makeup, and both of them recognized it in each other. So they started talking about, well, what does the makeup community need? Back in 2012, they didn't have too many matte lipsticks, and so that was their first endeavor, was to do matte lipsticks. I have the matte lipsticks. I'm not quite sure where. I had like 15, but with everything else, I misplaced things. That being said, we're still going to continue. The other thing they came out with after that was the first few stacks of eyeshadow. The first three that they had come out with were these three. At the time, I had only been shopping at Sephora and Ulta, so I didn't have a chance to swatch these, and I was hesitant about getting a brand that I had never swatched or seen how it lasted. But when the Rust Stack came out, it was so beautiful, I said, I don't care, gotta have it. So I bought the Rust Stack, and I was amazed. So I went back and bought the other three stacks. In 2012, a lot of the major makeup companies did not make matte lipsticks. So Laura and Dana decided to come out with a matte lipstick line, and they called it Melt Cosmetics. These are 6 of 15 that I have. The other ones are in my travel kit, and I'm gonna leave them there. Even though they may look exactly the same, these are 3 different. Stepford Wives is almost a warm aubergine. Then you have Old Fashioned, which is more of a gray lilac. And then you have Laced, which is more of a nude gray. When you get to the warms, you have On the Go, you have Old Rose, and you have Frisky. Each of them have a different undertone that makes them special. And yes, you can have 40 nude lipsticks and still not have the same one. Let's get into swatching. The first color I'm going to swatch is my favorite. It's the mustard yellow diarrhea color that I love. So in the Rust palette, this is one of the reasons why I bought it. So on the Anastasia Beverly Hills primer, oh, there goes my puppy. This is with 2 dips. There are 3 that have that yellow. In the Gemini palette. So in the Gemini palette, it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit cooler toned than the Rust palette. The reason why I'm swatching them with brushes is so that way you can see what they do with brushes. I'm dipping twice and swatching twice. This is from the Rust Stack. This is from the Gemini palette. and this is from the new Impulsive palette. All three may look like mustard yellow on quick look, but in the pans they're different, and with a brush they're different. The next color that is often confused and thought to be in different palettes are the reds. The reds, though, are different in each of the palettes. This one. So that's like a sangria or wine red. This one, this red appears more brown than red, which may have some people surprised in the Dark Matter stack, because the Lovesick stack and that one were the same, but they're not. So that's why I'm showing you these colors. There are no other colors that are really similar, but I'm going to do two other dark maroons just so that way you can see. In the 27 palette, it looks like a brown, almost aubergine. In the Impulsive palette, Boss Lady is the closest, but it's a dark purple, very dark purple brown. This red is from the Lovesick stack. This red is from Dark Matter stack. The next one was from 27, and the last dark one was Boss Lady. Next, we're going to do oranges. Peaches, oranges, orange peaches. Because there are a lot, but they're very different. I know everybody thinks that this doesn't belong, but I'm going to show you how the Radioactive stack and She Party stack are somewhat similar, so we can use the left arm. So, Radioactive stack, and one swipe was good. Then in She Parties, so that one, this one's more of a burnt orange, this one's more of a pink orange from the Radioactive stack. You know, just for the grins and giggles, we're going to do this peach just to show how it's different from Radioactive stack as well. We'll do it right here though. So, She Parties, Radioactive stack, She Parties. Next palette that has oranges that some people say, those oranges are similar with Impulsive, because the next two oranges that look the closest is Dream Big with She Dreams Big. So that one is more of a brown. It looks like an orange in the pan. And we're also going to go for a Rule Breaker. You know what I just figured out? I can swatch with that hand and then switch. Rule Breaker. Let's see what kind of orange this is. Still no duplication in oranges. That is impressive. Very impressive, Laura and Dana. Still no duplications. Next we're going to go into 27. Moxie in 27. Scamming from She Parties. Main Squeeze. The Radioactive Radon. The next one over is from the Impulsive. This is Dreams Big. Then we have Rule Breaker. Then we have from the 27 stack Moxie. Well, someone is going to say, what about the browns? The browns all look alike. How much arm do you think I have? We'll try to fit the browns in right there. Taking my trusty Unique brush. Thank you, Sheila. I love this brush. Okay, now let's compare browns. Not all browns are alike. For those of you who think, oh, all the colors in the stacks look alike, they don't. So we're going to start with the darkest browns. So this is from the Rust stack. The next darkest brown is going to be Whiskey Neat. So the Rust Stack has a cool brown, Whiskey Neat has a very dark brown, but it's a warm brown. The next brown we're going to take is Cupcake from the Gemini palette. And Cupcake we're going to put right here. So Cupcake is like crayon brown. It's neither cold nor warm. Cool, warm, medium. We're going to go to lighter browns that aren't mustard, aren't orange, but you know, they're still brown. We're going to put it up here. So that's from Rust palette. We have Bold, Pulse palette. It's a very warm brown. For those of you who may not appreciate browns, these browns may be looking similar, but I'm really specific about browns because I use them a lot. These browns are all different in warmth and pigmentation and tone. Polka Dot from Gemini. It's like a brown and white made of gray. So those are all the browns. Some of them may appear similar, but I put them very close together so that way you could see that they go from a range of gray to almost yellowish brown. We're going to just add Mean Streak. We're going to add Mean Streak down here. It's more of a black to that bruised color. And then we're going to flip the brush, try Last Caress. Flipping the brush, Last Caress. And all the purples, they go from a wine to a tree brown purple. I wanted to compare the colors that may look the same. Now let's try some shimmers from Laura and Dana's new palette. Oh no, before we do that, we have to try greens. Some people were wondering what the difference between Gemini and Smoke Sessions. So we'll take the two mattes in Gemini, so that is Leo, that one right here. We're going to use the other side of the brush for Fire Hog. That's a warmer. We're going to go into Sour Diesel. And Space Queen. Some people may complain that Melt doesn't have a lot of blacks. I think it's great because instead of just giving you random blacks, they give you a dark purple that's almost black, a dark green that's almost black, a dark brown that's almost black. My arms are full, so I really can't compare much else, but I'm going to do a few shimmers. With Gemini, we're going to take Gemini. That's one that I have on my lid right now. That's nice orange yellow. And I'm going to do the oranges, reds, and then go to greens. So this is Vegas Past. Vegas Past is a gold bronze. Crime Fighter. Crime Fighter is a peachy bronze. Poppin' Bottles. I have that on too today. I love Poppin' Bottles. You can't really see it very well. It has some like white, gold, green, yellow. I don't know. So those are the yellow toned shimmers. Next, let's go to the purple toned shimmers. Okay, we're going to be going with the fingers for the shimmers. Makeup Junkie, Warehouse Party. Makeup Junkie, Oh, those are wonderful. So, those are warmer. Then we have Shots. That starts taking it a little bit cooler. Morning After is a little deeper. No Regrets and Drunk Text are the grays. Ooh, that's like a gold gray. I'm gonna have to use that next time. And that's like a lead gray. And then CEO. CEO is like a bronze gray. Now we're gonna go with Go Getter. And that is such a loud statement color. It says, "You can't forget me." So from Go Getter, we're going to go to the Gemini palette to stay in the same color field. We're going to stay with Warm. In Gemini, we're going to go with Crime Fighter. And then with Vegas Past. Lude from She's Partying Pack. Oh, that's nice. I just wish I had more lid space. If I didn't have hooded lids, I could use the shimmer so much more, but I have hooded lids. So Hopeless Romantics and Crush. So the blue is darker. The gray may be similar, let's see. So if you don't have light on that gray, it looks similar, put it in the light. The gray from the Gun Stack is shiny, whereas the gray from Impulsive Stack is more glittery. So that's Harsh Stone White, Industrial Gray, and Gunmetal Blue. The difference between the Gunmetal stack and the Impulsive stack is that the Gunmetal stack is more, it's pigmented differently, but the Impulsive stack has almost more duochrome feel to it. So, last but not least, let's swatch our green shimmers. From the Smoke Session stack, I'm going to do Blue Dream, Sweet Tooth, Mean Green, and Black Widow. So we have Blue Dream, Sweet Tooth, Mean Green, and Black Widow. I'm also going to put Granddaddy on there so you can see that's more of a gold. There's only one other green shimmer, is Goals in Gemini, and that's different. That's more of an olive gold green. That's more of a real green. So these are all the different greens, shimmers. I hope you have enjoyed this video of swatching. Next, we're going to have Natasha Denona, Smile for Lexi. I'm going to take off my glasses because they're heavy and I'm sweating. It's Florida. It's early in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning and it's still really hot. All right. Carefully walking over. This is my melt collection. So, we're going to do a Captain Morgan commercial. This is my melt stack collection. All right, I know these are killer heels. I'm going to take off my beautiful high heels before I break my neck. Vero Cuello. I don't know. Alejandro Engelmo, I guess. Alejandro Engelmo, I guess. Laura Ariano and Dana Bomar. I'm sorry for the last name pronunciation, but you remember in the Urban Decay tutorial I told you guys I had a speech impediment. It still continues. I can say most words correctly, but I cannot pronounce names. It is so funny because when I go out to get people for acupuncture or what have you, I'm like, Hi, Miss, do you want to confirm your name for me so that way I know what your name is? So, if any of you are in the health field and you can't pronounce a name, you look at the most likely next patient and you just say, hi, can you confirm your first name? If it looks like the first name you're about to pick up, you take them back and say, can you confirm your first name, last name, and date of birth? And that way you're not offending anybody. And perhaps you're making friends because they may appreciate you saying their name properly. But Laura and Dana, I'm sorry, I practiced. And if you remember from my Urban Decay collection video, I told you I'm not comfortable with blues. They kind of scare me, but I still love them. They're really pigmented, and I love that they're almost like a blue-green, blue-gray, and dark blue. There are just so many different types of blues I like. Both Laura and Dana appreciated each other's style and use of makeup. They're two beautiful women, but they're beautiful in totally different ways. It is amazing, but that's how it is in a lot of things.